Hi guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. We've got a great episode for you today. This is featuring the Madam Mayoress of Shrewsbury, Becky Wall. If you're a long-time listener to the Shrewsbury Biscuit, you may remember this is one of the things we like to do on the show. We like to speak to the mayor every year because I like to find out who the person is behind the rope. You know, it's all well and good giving someone an appointment like the mayor or like the high sheriff or like whatever. I don't know. I just like to find out what makes these people tick. What's going on inside that head of theirs? Where do they come from? What do they aspire towards? And that's what this podcast is all about. Before we get into it, though, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I want to offer a proper apology to Matthew Howarth and the guys from the Battle of Shrewsbury. I was meant to be there at the weekend just gone, and I kind of run out of steam, if I'm honest. There's a few things I'm trying to work on at the moment to give the biscuit a bit of momentum, to be honest, while I settle into my new job. I want to create a few interviews that I can scatter across the next month, so that I can settle into my new job. And I have been working relentlessly. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see the many places we've been. We have been working hard to get that content. So come sort of Friday, I just wanted to be honest with you, I just wanted to spend time with my family, and that's not me saying that the Battle of Shrewsbury was ever going to stop me from doing that, but I just wanted to solely spend time with my family at the weekend. So we did. We went to watch the football. We went to the open day at Shrewsbury Town Football Club, and I got the mic out, but it was only small bits. But yeah, so I'm very sorry to the guys from the Battle of Shrewsbury. I couldn't be there. But I did appreciate my weekend with the family. And Matthew did send me a nice message afterwards. It was a nice message of support just to say he agrees with my decision. So thanks for that, Matthew, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. Also, finally, I want to say thank you to you guys, the listeners. We've had an amazing response to the last 2 episodes we have released. I'm blown away actually by the response. It's phenomenal. I'm just so proud of the content that we're putting out at the moment, and the people that have sort of come on the show and spoken to me and give me access to the content like that. Thank you so much. Loop Fest was fantastic. It was a huge collaborative effort to get that river safety episode out too, and those 2 episodes have just absolutely flown off the shelf. So thank you so much for listening to the show. It's fantastic. Thank you very much. Right, without further ado, I'm just going to go into this episode, and I'll catch you guys at the end of this interview. So here I give you guys the Madam Mayoress of Shrewsbury, Miss Becky Wall. Hi guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm Alex Whiteley, and today we're joined by our Madam Mayoress of Shrewsbury, Becky Wall. Hello, how are you?
Hello, thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you for coming today to this apartment. And apologies, I was having a real cringe moment earlier because I was like, "Yeah, come round, it'd be absolutely fine." And upon reading about what you've been doing over the last since you become the mayor, and one of your goals is to make things more accessible because you had a bit of an accident you recently, and I was like, yeah, oh my god, I'm in an upstairs apartment with no elevator. So I had a bit of a meltdown, so I'm sorry for putting you through that.
That's absolutely fine, don't worry.
What happened to your to do you mind talking about that? I mean, you had a bit of an issue? No?
I just had a bit of an accident obviously before I was made mayor.
Yeah.
But obviously that has had an impact on what I'm able to do, but it's never stopped me doing anything.
That's good. That's really, I mean, I think it's good. It's a bit of a pun, but maybe it sounds cool. I don't know, but to walk in someone else's shoes, to see what life is like when you have an ailment like that, you know. I mean, I've been in a situation where I remember my mom
had a serious back injury a few years ago, and I was there for her, of course. But I was, when someone's got a back injury, you don't realise how bad it is until you pull your back out, and then you think, "Oh my God, this is terrible." And I remember I pulled my back out. Gosh, when was that? A while ago, and it just completely affected everything in my life. It's fine now, but like until you've been through that, you don't realise.
No, you don't, and this is why what I'm going to try and do is promote our town, and obviously get our town council, Shropshire Council, to help with the modifications in the town that are urgently needed.
Yes.
Because I found I was in a wheelchair to start with, and now obviously I'm a little bit more able-bodied to walk smaller distances.
Yeah.
I'm not fully there yet, but what I found with this is that, like you said, people don't understand.
No.
I mean, I used to look after somebody similar to yourself with your job,
Yeah.
supported living.
Yes.
And they were in a wheelchair. And it was hard work taking somebody around the town or trying to access things. And even like the toilets in the Darwin Centre, sometimes they're full of things that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, of course.
So this is why I'm trying to escalate this as much as I can.
And I'm sure there are people listening today that'll be like, "Oh my God, it's about time." Because
Yes, this has been something that has been challenged before, but I'm hoping now that I can actually put my foot down and say, right, no, this needs to change.
yeah, because there's certain public buildings that need a bit better access.
Yes, definitely. And the hospital's one of them.
The hospital.
Yes.
You'd think that'd be the place where they'd start, right? You think that'd be a
Yes.
place where, because
No.
you walk in there, and what's the first thing you usually see in the hospital is a wheelchair.
Yes. But if you go to the back of the hospital, there's an area that I'm really, really unhappy with. So I'm going to be approaching them very shortly to get their lip sorted out
Yeah.
off a drop curb. It's quite dangerous,
Okay.
as I found out.
Well, this message to the hospital. You got Becky Wall coming to you very soon. Like, so you
Yes.
spot it out. So let's go back in time. Let's where do you hail from originally, Becky?
Well, originally I come from Yorkshire.
Yorkshire
in a
lass.
place called Pudsey, where Pudsey the bear comes from.
Wow, I didn't realise he came from
Yes.
an actual place. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But my mother, she was brought up in Shrewsbury. So she lived in Shrewsbury when she was younger, and she went to Millbrace School. And then obviously she moved up to Yorkshire. And then obviously had me, my brother and my sister. And then in 1996 she moved back to Shrewsbury once we were grown up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she was working at the Dana prison.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, because it was a career that she went in a little bit later in life, but she really enjoyed it. And
Wow.
yeah, then I followed down, and then I went to work for Royal Mail for 14 years.
What did you do at Royal Mail then? Were you
I was doing the processing side of it.
okay?
I
So
went
you,
doing the
you were in
deliveries.
the sorting office.
Yes.
By the Dana.
Yes, but that was brilliant fun. I met some really good friends. We were like one big family. It was brilliant. And then later on, I become one of the deputy night shift managers, which that was good fun.
Night shifts. I'm just coming off night shifts
Yeah.
after 8 years of working night shifts.
I did about 10 years in night shifts.
Yeah. What was it like for you coming back into days or doing...
Awful.
Really? Because I'm about to do that. I'm about to make that transition.
Alex, it's so hard because you like, you think to yourself, it's like 12 o'clock at night. It's like, I'm not tired. But you know, you've got to be up at sort of 6, 7 o'clock.
That's what I'm worried about is the night shifts, really.
Yeah.
The night time, sorry, I should say. Trying to sleep, especially the nights where my body's used to like being awake. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what...
Yeah, and it is really difficult. But you do sort of get used to it. But I never have been a morning person. Never.
And this is the thing, right? When I first started doing nights, I was kind of like, this is great. I don't have to get up in the morning. And when I was younger, I've been doing it 8 years, guys. So that kind of is applicable. But I go to work, come home, go to the gym, go to bed for about 3 hours, get up and go out and do something, and then go to work. Now I'm kind of like, wake up, shower, dinner, work. Like, it's just so hard now for me as I'm getting older. So
it is once you get past 35, that's it. It's downhill from there.
Thank you, right? Because I'm 36 years old, and somebody said to me, as soon as you hit 36 is the magic number, right? That's what they've said. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm 36 years now, and I'm like, everything's aching. I'm just like, it's mad how quickly you drop off between 35 and 36.
Yeah, and hangovers as well. They take longer to get rid of. So that's why I tend not to go out and do what we used to do back when we were 20.
Yes.
I couldn't.
No.
We used to go out on the night out, or I've worked in like various nightclubs in the town, and it's been absolutely amazing. But I'd get home at like 3 a.m, and then I'd be up, or I'd go to the car boot sale at 7 o'clock with my mum, and it's like, yeah, I could do that. I can't do it now.
No, it's. I think sometimes you have to accept. You have to accept that you can't keep up with youngers. I remember when I was just before I moved to Shrewsbury. Actually, I was still working at Asda. No, it was when was this? 2014. We used to have an Asda football team, right? Because I worked at Asda, and we were awful, but we used to just go love having kicking about. There was some that were good, and we invited one of the younger colleagues onto our team. He was fantastic, and he was like, "I've got a team of mates. Fancy a game sometime?" And these were like kids, 18, 19. We were like, yeah, okay. Not only did they destroy us, but I pulled my ankle trying to turn too quick. Yeah, this is me going, I can take on a bunch of kids, don't worry about it. But yeah, I think sometimes you got to accept it. So yeah, working for the Royal Mail, I mean, that's a job that's hot. You know, there's got to be a lot of demand in that job, right? It's not an easy job to do. Sometimes it's busy, especially at Christmas.
Yes, it can be very busy.
Yeah. What was that like? I mean, like,
It was good fun.
You say it was good fun?
Yeah.
Is it one of those jobs where you can sort of get into it once you know the job?
Yes.
Know the role, and it's a bit like riding a bike. It kind of comes natural to you, sort of thing.
Yes, but obviously there's different sections of Royal Mail. Obviously you've got the sorting office, which obviously ours is now unfortunately gone. Then you've got the delivery side of it, and then you've got the network, which is where they drive the big Arctic trucks or the 7.5 ton vehicles.
Yeah.
But you've got to have a certain skill for that. You can't just nobody can just do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be, you got to have the correct training and things like that. But the delivery side of it is like, that's challenging as well.
Yeah, I've got friends who've just actually become mailmen, mail people.
Mailmen. Male persons.
Male persons. I don't know what to say these days. But no, best job ever, apparently. Go out there and do your thing. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I can kind of see why they might not need to sort an office in Shrewsbury now with modern day logistics, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, how? There's
no. No. It was the Shrewsbury sorting office we covered the biggest area in Britain.
Wow.
The biggest postcode in Britain.
We did SY.
Yeah.
Goes as far as Aberystwyth or something like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Aberystwyth, and then obviously we did all like the Welsh borders, like Knighton, Brecon.
Wrexham, maybe.
Not Wrexham so much, because that was more Chester.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we covered, like I said, the biggest postcode in Britain.
I didn't even know this, Somebody was like, oh yeah, it goes all the way into Wales. I was like, why? Why hasn't Aberystwyth got an AB or something, Maybe it's...
No, and Welshpool, that's SY21.
Oh, wow. So if you listen to the Shrewsbury Biscuit, you can listen to it in Aberystwyth and feel fine, because we've got the same postcode, Just saying, And if you do listen and you're in Aberystwyth, just write in. Send us a postcode. A postcard, should I say. Postcard, wherever you are. So becoming a mayor or getting into politics, is politics a thing that you always wanted to do? And how late in life did it, if not, how late in life did it come to you that you wanted to get involved with it?
Well, I got involved in politics when I was 33. Because it was something that I didn't really know much about. But what I did, I thought, no, I'm going to give it a go. See what it is all about. So obviously then I joined, a party. Obviously, I'm not going to say for reasons.
I'm impartial anyway. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I joined the party. I enjoyed it because it was getting out meeting people, knocking on the doors and saying, "Oh, hi, I'm Becky. I'm representing such and such for your area.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to discuss or anything you got problems with?" So obviously then I thought, I'm going to try a bit harder. Because obviously I wasn't successful with the first one. Obviously didn't get chosen as a candidate. So I tried again 4 years later. And I was successful, and I've been now councillor for this will be my 6th year running.
I was thinking that, well, congratulations, by the way. That's really nice. But I was thinking that movie, Bruce Almighty, when he's trying to sort out, when he becomes God and everybody's asking him questions and he's trying to answer all the questions on the computer as quick as he can. Yeah. And there's still a million more. And then you go to the Post-it notes and it's just crazy trying to sort all that information out. When it comes to politics, you say you're going around knocking on people's doors and asking how people are. I imagine that's just so much information to take in. Like, how do you process all that?
Well, that's why you take a notebook. If I knock on somebody's door and I just say, obviously introduce myself and just say, look, I've been your candidate for the past 2 elections. Have you got any other issues that you feel I might be able to help with? Because I do this more for my people. Yeah. I'm not, the politics side of it, I have got an interest in it, but it's not 100%. It's more for my people.
Yeah.
If my people want double yellow lines put in somewhere, then I'll go back to the council and just say, right, is this feasible?
Yeah.
Because I managed to get the double yellow lines put, obviously, outside Aldi, obviously where I live at Battlefield. But then, obviously, they moved up further up the road to the top. It's thanks. But it's things like this, and if people have got problems with trees... I had a gentleman phone me up the other day. He said, these trees are all overgrown. Can you send somebody out? And that's what I did.
Must be nice, though, to be able to do that, to have the power to be able to make someone's life a little bit easier.
Yes, and that's why I've decided to become the mayor.
That's nice.
Because I love helping people.
It's such a nice role. You are the 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you're the 4th mayor that's been on the show. I like to do this every year. It's just a nice way of introducing you to the town, I guess.
Yes.
Sort of as a human being. And it's always a role that it takes a lot of. I mean, it sounds really glamorous, going to the flower show and going to the football matches and going to this and that. But it's hard. We were just talking about, as you were walking up the stairs, about standing in 26-degree heat in your big thick robes.
Yep. It's not fun standing. It's like at the flower show, I'm just praying this year it's not going to be scalding hot.
Yes.
It'll be nice for, obviously, everybody there, and if it is beautiful, but I'm going to be fully gowned, and it'll be quite hot.
I always say Bogota. I say Bogota because my wife, being from Colombia, whenever we go there, it's like 26 degrees with nice breeze, and it's like the perfect summer's day.
Yes.
It's not like 30 degrees, scorching, grass on fire.
It was last year.
Yes, I know. I remember this. That it was a heat wave, and in fact, I messaged the flower show literally the day after, because I was looking at the comments and I saw the reaction from the people. People were angry about it and stuff, but I was kind of like, the weather was just ridiculous. So I wrote to them, I was like, look, I will help if there's anything I can help you with. On the run up to next year, I appreciate this has been a bad one for you guys. So we are. Amanda, she's on my board there. We'll be speaking to her, and we will be at the flower show, I believe, this year. We're probably going to take a studio along, and so we might see you there.
You certainly will. Yeah, you certainly will.
What was it like? How proud were you when you found out you were going to be mayor? I mean,
I wasn't proud. I was scared.
Scared. Because I imagine, yeah, I can get that.
I'm not good at speeches. I am not good at speeches. But you learn how to do them. Yeah. And I've got a good team as well, because I've got more than one consort. Because usually the mayor only has one. No, I'm being greedy. I've got 5.
Well, if you're going to do it properly, right?
Yeah. Well, it's because everybody's working, and not everybody's always freely available.
So it's a bit like a web. You know, if something falls through, you've got another one, another layer,
Yes.
another layer.
Yes.
The people I've been speaking to, we'll mention names, obviously, privacy and stuff, but your team I've been speaking to have been fantastic organising this. So, and in fact, this morning I was like, oh, I've got stairs. And they were like, it's fine. They want it straight away.
Yeah.
So they sorted that out. So you're scared of doing speeches. How have you overcome that then, the speech thing? Because it's a really hard thing to get over. I think.
It is, but I think with the speeches, you've just got to think sort of outside the box slightly. If you do a little bit of research on the organisation or the school or the college or things like that.
Yeah.
It's just doing a little bit of research first.
Don't go to a cancer research thing and be like, hey, Lincoln Davis, or, get it wrong. That would be terrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you got to know who you're talking about. But
imagine that.
Yeah, it's happened before, not to me, but to somebody else.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's like doing the full council meetings as well. That was really nerve-wracking for me because I know all the councillors.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's like, oh, how do I...
You stand up, you're waiting for the...
Yeah. It's just like, I'm nervous. But no, it was all right. It was actually really good.
I struggle with, so I've stood up in front of thousands of people before.
Yeah.
We did the Shropshire County show. The Shropshire... Oh, what was it called? It was the Cavalier Centre.
Yes.
And it was a hybrid show, so there was like spaces for 50 people during the pandemic, so they have their own boxes to sit in, and they had cameras, and it was like being broadcast to like 30,000 people, and we were the compares for the whole thing, so we were on cameras, and that was such and such, and coming up next is going to be, so we had the Shrewsbury Biscuit did that, and then we also did bits on the stage as well. And I remember I went on stage at the end and I was like, thank you for being a part of the Shrewsbury County show. And it wasn't, it was the Shropshire County show. I loudly went, Shrewsbury, we were in like Much Wenlock, or wherever. And I was just like, yeah, I've done that before. But I'll do that. But like when it comes to business chamber events or like what you're saying, and then everybody's going around the room and introducing themselves, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then when it gets to me, I'm kind of like, the room just swallows me a little bit. I struggle with stuff like that. It's weird, right?
Yeah, I do as well. But what I do is I try not to look at the people. I look at the paperwork in front of me, and it's like, there's nobody there. Just read it out.
Yeah.
Pretend you're practicing at home.
I think like you've got to dive in at the deep end sometimes with these things.
Yes, that's what I found with being the mayor. Rather than worry about it, just do it.
Yeah, just get on with it.
Just get on with it. And that's where people say, oh, your speech was really good, or well done you.
Yeah, I find it.
Because it does take practice.
I like that. Momentum is good. I feel like this with the show, I always talk about the chemistry of the guest, because I think it's a really interesting insight. There's sometimes with this show, people get a bit stressed, a bit worried about sitting around microphone with me. It's a bit of a vulnerable situation. I mean, I've been doing this for years, and we always make people feel comfortable, because within sort of 15 minutes, it is just conversation.
Yep.
And I feel like if you're gripped in the conversation and you're enjoying yourself, you relax a little bit. I like that. I think conversation is a lost art. I feel like we're living in a TikTok era where everything's short and snappy, which is great for some things. I feel like that we use reels to sort of promote new shows. We've got one coming up we did with West Mercia Search and Rescue and Make Our Rivers Safer. We did one releasing tomorrow. The reels and things that we make for that are really good for promoting things, but they're short and snappy. I feel like it's really nice sometimes to just slow down.
Yes,
and talk.
Definitely.
And talk, it's really good. How were your family? How were the family's reaction when you became mayor? Were they really proud of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum was like, I'm so proud of you. And my granddad couldn't believe himself. He's like, oh my God, you really going to become the mayor? I went, yes, Granddad.
I can't imagine what my mum's reaction would be. She's proud of everything I do. When I used to I did the radio last year for 18 months. I did the radio, and she was there every single show, listening in live, and we had Discord running, so people could chat to me during the show, and she was there chatting with all the listeners. That's my son. That is.
Yeah.
I love you, Mum. If you're listening. It's really good. So I know that every mayor has to have a focus. I know we've kind of talked about it a bit at the beginning, but you have certain focuses, don't you, as a mayor, what you want to focus on throughout your year? Is there certain things that you want to look at?
Well, I think my focuses are... Well, when you say focuses...
Sort of things you want to impact on, I guess, throughout the town. Is there anything that you would like to improve around the town, or any sort of... I feel like... with Elise Roberts, by the way, she, last time she looked at neurodivergency and kind of bringing people in. And so, what is there anything that you're focusing on this year?
Well, obviously, as was speaking earlier, my focus is to make our town more accessible for people with disabilities,
which is inclusion. Really,
yes.
It's bringing people, making sure that everybody can enjoy the town.
Because believe it or not, it sounds really mad, but people who have got guide dogs, the A boards that these restaurants are using are no good to be on the street, because sometimes they're too far out, and the guide dog will go around it, but it's going onto the road, and that's when the dog's confused, because it's like, I'm not supposed to go on the road because I've got, obviously, it's looking after the person, and that's the things that people don't see.
Ah, yeah. So if you zoom in a little bit and realise the intricate little things that's going on in the town.
Yes.
And that's why you need a voice, I suppose, is to say, actually, can you, if you have an A board, you need to push it up against the building, or, make it safe for people to walk around.
Make it safer for people with guide dogs and wheelchairs.
Yeah. It's amazing how sometimes you can oversee issues like that. We were talking... during the pandemic, we spoke to a charity called Signal, and it was one of the most amazing interviews I've ever done. We had a hard of hearing person on the show, and I was speaking through a translator. It was really wonderful. It was amazing. And they were talking about lip reading with a mask. And I was like, why has nobody thought about how like that was, things like that people just completely oversee, little details. So who have you spoken to about this? Like, with is there anywhere that you want to focus on in town with that? Anywhere that needs ramps? I know you mentioned the hospital. Is there anywhere in town that you think could be do with a bit more accessibility?
Well, I think the Darwin Centre, the shopping centre at the top, when them lifts are not working, how are people supposed to access?
Yeah, of course.
Town?
Yeah,
because not everybody's got a carer either.
No. Yeah, I imagine that's really difficult, especially if you specifically...
Sometimes the escalators aren't working, or sometimes the lifts are broken, and it can be quite challenging for that person, because then you've got to go around the back of the car park to go up the lift and across.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a trek and a half.
Absolutely.
To do that, but we need to make sure them lifts are always in full working order.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's like things like the big town plan, things are constantly changing with in fact, that was really funny. I was at Loop Festival, and we're talking, I haven't even uttered the word big town plan in a long time. All these things, all these things that's happening at the Riverside as well. And I was at Loop Fest, and I was in the Bull's Head. And it was so busy, like so incredibly busy. It was like I had elbows in my head, in my back, my butt. It was just crazy, right? So I had my bag. I had a tripod, I had a microphone, I had headphones on my head. It was just nuts trying to get through all these people. And I had this bag, and there was like a booth. And I had to shove my bag onto the booth, even though there were people there. I was like, I'm really sorry, because there's like a couple grand's worth of kit in there,
Yeah.
And the lady I saw was kind of like, okay, whatever. And then she started chatting to me, and she was like, "Oh, you what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm from the Shrewsbury Biscuit." And she's like, "I know you." And she's because I'd had Camilla Monk on a show, and she's like, "I'm one of the architects that's looking at the Riverside thing." And we started chatting, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I'm going to get her on the show and find out what's going on, because it's something that we sort of brought up, and we were kind of like, what's happened to the plans, And I think you talking about accessibility and looking at that can make people sort of think about thinking forward with things like this.
Yes, I'm hoping so.
Because modern buildings, modern ideas, accessibility is really important, right?
Yes, and like you said, it's making everyone feel included.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than feeling, taking a group of people and saying, no, you can't do this. I'm really sorry. There's no ramps. It's really cool in here, but you can't come in. I'm sorry. There's no ramps. It's not. That's horrible. You got to be able to include everybody into what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's when it comes to becoming a mayor and doing what you're going to be doing? Is there anything that you've been pleasantly surprised by? Because I imagine that when you become the mayor, there's so much information coming at you. Maybe there's a few things that you're worried about that you're actually it's not too bad.
Well, sort of, not really.
No?
Because you get a sort of taste of it the year before, because you're the deputy mayor to start with.
Yes. Okay. So
you get sort of a little taste of what to expect. But when you've got a really busy schedule for the week, and you're out more or less every single day, that's when it gets really tiring. Because it can get really tiring.
So are you doing your full-time job as well as being a mayor?
Not at the minute.
No?
Because obviously I can't go back to work until
No.
I'm better. So as soon as, give it a couple of months and hopefully I will be going back to work.
It's going to be a shock to the system.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry I'm looking rude. I've fired a thing up on Facebook for questions. We only got one because it was from it's from Liam Tinsley. And he said, I think he's being funny, but I think it's worth it. He said, do you feel like Flavor Flav because of the chain? So it's this chain, I guess what he's trying to say is, in his own ways, does it take some getting used to having the big chain on you?
Yes.
Yes.
There's an art to wearing it.
Yeah?
Yes, because it is heavy. The one I'm wearing, obviously, with you now, Alex, this is the day chain.
Yes.
But when I wear my full regalia for, obviously, certain events, then the big chain comes out and it is heavy.
Yeah.
It's really, really heavy. Sometimes it's nice when your event is only a couple of hours long because it's like, I could get the chain off. Because it can be incredibly heavy.
Yeah, I imagine. I imagine you take it off and you feel like you're going to float.
Yes, it is. But again, because we haven't got a driver at the minute as well, because usually we have a mayor's driver, that's another big difficulty that we have.
I did see the job application and I was like,
You should have gone for it.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be very good at being a mayor's driver.
You would.
Be like Taxi. What's that? Crazy Taxi, the video game.
That'd be good. We need that.
You want to get me there in 15 minutes, but it's half an hour away.
That'd be good.
Talk us about your mayor making ceremony then. What was that like for you? Like, I couldn't go. I think I can't remember. I didn't go for a reason. I think I was doing something. But the mayor making ceremony, what was it like for you?
Yeah. Obviously, I was nervous because obviously I had to do the speech about me, but I found that day sort of very scripted.
Yeah.
I wasn't too happy with the speech that I'd done after it.
Very official. I guess everything had to be checked.
Yeah. And it was very sort of, I was reading it like it was on the script, and it was on the script, and I'm just like, nah, I'll change that.
You should have done the dramatic thing they do in Hollywood. When they screw up the speech, I'm going to speak from the mind, and all the classic music starts playing in the background.
But that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes I've been to a couple of events, and I've just rolled the speech off my tongue.
Yeah.
Because you do get put on the spot. Some people will say, "Oh, Madam Mayor, would you like to say a few words?" I'm like, I didn't prepare no speech. But sometimes if you just roll it off the tongue, and it's absolutely fine. And
talk about what you believe in as well. This when I do get a lot of messages from young, not young, I say, but up and coming podcasters, and in fact, not just up and coming podcasters. If people are changing the way they do things, they'll come to me. A good friend of mine who's been podcasting for years changed his equipment and asked, people come and they ask how to format a podcast. How do you write a podcast? And when I first started doing this, I used to write reams and reams of notes. I remember when Charlie Adlard first came around my house. I think I had 4 or 5 pages, and it reads it. You're right, it reads like a script, and it sounds very wooden. And I learned that you can start making bullet points instead. You can make let's talk about this, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. What I've done with today's episode is I've done that, but mentally I've kind of. And, I'll go back to something sometimes, and it's not perfect, never perfect, but the biscuit is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be organic conversation.
Yes.
And I feel like you're right. When you're speaking from your heart and from your emotions, and I mean, sometimes maybe that's like maybe not the right thing to do, because maybe you can, put your foot in it sometimes. I do all the time, by the way.
Yeah. I haven't got there yet, but I will.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get there at some point, because and that's the thing, isn't it? Scrutiny. Your eyes are on you all the time. Whenever the mayor goes to an event, it's always like, oh, the mayor's here, and everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
And how's that for you? But that's a shock to the system.
It can be, because I'm used to sort of helping everybody else, but everybody's coming to me. Oh, Madam Mayor, would you like a drink? Would you like some food? Would you like a seat? Would you like this? It's like, okay, yeah. But it's usually it's the kindness from people, because when you're the mayor, obviously whether you're male or female, everybody wants to please you.
Yes, of course.
And everybody keeps trying to feed you cake.
Yeah.
Now my diabetes doesn't agree with that much.
Yes.
But everybody tries to.
How is that
cake.
though? I mean, because you got with the diabetes, obviously, if people keep offering you cake. Yeah, I bet you got to roll off the same thing. I can't. Sorry, there's.
I can have a little bit.
Yeah.
I think one event, I think it was on my birthday last month. I ended up with 3 pieces of cake in one day.
Yeah.
And that was naughty.
That's naughty.
That was really naughty. But obviously, I just adjusted with my medication.
Yeah.
That I take for it, but it was difficult because you can't sort of say no.
And it's when I guess they look at you like longingly. Come on, take a bite then.
Oh, we baked this cake just for you. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's lovely. So,
that's really nice. I remember I was at the there was an international buffet in Radbrook.
was that the Eid? Not the Eid.
Not the Eid one. It was the one that was done by Kate Fife and Adam. It was by the Inn on the Green. There's a community centre there, and it had buffets from all around the world there. And we turned up, and it was for a guy that suffers from social anxiety. It was a bit of a job, because I'll turn it with a microphone sometimes, and sometimes I jump in the deep end, and I'm like, right, the biscuit's here, let's do this, blah, 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 and I'll do it. But sometimes it catches me off guard. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it was very much that situation. And I remember seeing, because when I will see you at events now, we'll get to know each other throughout the year. I guarantee it happens every year. But what happens is I see the mayor and I see a familiar person I can go and say hello to.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. It is genuinely really nice, because Elise came in and she was doing her thing, and like you said, everybody swarms around the mayor and they're like, try this and try that and try that. And I think I mentioned on that podcast, I'm gonna have to leave the mayor on this occasion, I think, because she's got an entourage around her.
Well, if I see you, Alex, I'll say, no, excuse me, let me get my Alex from the Biscuits here.
Move out the way, everybody.
Yeah.
And so as well, we need to talk about the fact that you could be like in those crowds and in those moments when you do walk into a room, there are youngsters looking at you, and you're inspiring them to want to go and be the mayor, to get involved in politics, to make a difference. I've spoken to politicians and people from all walks of life. Alex Wagner is a friend of mine, a young guy, no matter what party he's at, you've got to respect the fact that guy's in his 20s going out there trying to make a difference. And I like that. I like the fact that there's still a young connection with politics, because you are people that are making the difference ultimately. And that's good that you're out there inspiring people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, and that's what I'm hoping to obviously bring to the council as well. We need more young people.
Yeah.
For all parties, because if we don't inspire them, what are we going to inspire?
I like to sit sort of on the fence with it all, because I feel like it doesn't matter which way you're leaning at the moment. It's all about making a difference. It's all about making life livable for people. And you're all there to do that. So ultimately, I think everybody should be listened to. And this is why I like to stay impartial with things, because I think it's important. If I was to have political views and be like, no, nobody would listen, because I'll lose half my audience straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's not just that. It's, you can believe in, if somebody comes knocking on your door, for instance, you might like the way that they're selling themselves. If you think they're going to deliver what you want, you'd go with that person. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that you've got to go for a certain party. It's like, I get people knocking on my door,
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, I like you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, before I come into politics properly, I was like, whoever comes knocking at my door, and I like the look of that individual, and they're going to promise me they can deliver what I'm asking, then I'll go with them.
Yeah. I'll be like, let me just fire up the microphones. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Do you want a tea, coffee, a glass of water? Just sit down.
Yeah, just sit down. Let's have a conversation.
We'll get you on a microphone talking about these grand ideas that you've got, sir. Just give me a second.
Yeah, do that.
I've got that in my arsenal. That's quite fun.
Yeah. But again, politics these days is just it's not good at the minute. But
I know, I feel that, and I think there's a lot of people that feel that, and especially on social media, it's very hard. It's very hard to even try and make a difference. I remember when all the Black Lives Matter stuff happened during COVID, I went and took cameras. I took some pictures. I thought it was really nice. This young girl in the middle of the bandstand, inspiring people all around her. And I took some pictures and I put it on social media, and I got called a virtual signaller and all these kind of things. And I was kind of like, no, you're missing the point. Like, this young person is standing there, regardless of what you think, and she's inspiring these people. She cares, and that's the most important thing. Just be a good person, I think, is kind of like what I like. And you get to do that as a mayor. You get to go and inspire people and do nice things. Is there an event that you're genuinely really looking forward to that that's coming up on your calendar? A really good one.
I haven't looked that far ahead yet, Alex. To be fair,
how far do you have to plan being ahead? Is it already there in the diary? I guess most of it.
Some of the big events are like the really important ones, like the.
Is that okay?
Wires. Yeah, move the wires.
Okay.
Like so the thingy, Remembrance Day, and obviously for the ones I got.
Sorry, really awkwardly, just taking pictures. I always do this. Usually I have my wife here, or Verity. Verity can't. She's gone to see Troy. I've forgotten his name now. The chin up, shoulders back guy. He's doing a stand up in Shrewsbury. She's watching him. My wife's at Cubs. The Remembrance Day, yeah, that's a big one though, isn't it? For the mayor?
It is, and that's a really. It is actually a beautiful event.
It's powerful. I think.
Yes,
very powerful.
And obviously, I should have got my diary to have a look at. Really,
there's a flower show as well. The flower show,
yeah,
a big one.
But I actually really enjoyed the Westminster Showground. Yeah, that one was fantastic.
The county show.
Yes,
I was there as well. That was a hot day, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I turned up. There was like bikes jumping in the air, and I'd never been to the county show before. I actually really, really enjoyed that show because there's all sorts going on. Yeah. And it was really nice. It was a show that took me by surprise, really, because I'd never been there before. And I've been to events, I've done events, and I thought I'd seen it all. And I've seen quite a bit, but I went to the county show, and they were like, they were looking at bulls' testicles, and they were like measuring horns, and they were getting champion animals ready to be. And I'd never seen anything like that. But it was an alien world to me, and I had so much fun running around with my microphone. Like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah. Oh, what are you doing? It's just fantastic. I love it. Yeah, it's really good fun. That show is. And obviously, we've got the flower show. Yeah. That's going to be fun as well. That is going to be great. That's going to be great. I was going to, Pod Aid this year, I mentioned it a little bit to you. So we do like a 24-hour live podcast. We start at 9 a.m. We finish at 9 a.m. We run all the way through the night. It's fantastic. We have a great team. Last year we had a team in America and a team here in Shrewsbury, and we kind of switched it up a little bit. It was fantastic. But we are doing it on the 11th of November this year, Remembrance Day, which is... It's an unfortunate day to kind of land something like that on because it's Remembrance Day. But at the same time, we can probably have a good impact on that. We can probably talk about that, actually, because we all have audiences around the world. So I was going to say, if you've got a bit of time on that day, even though it's such a big day, even in the afternoon or something, maybe you can come along. I don't know. I'll have to write to you guys. And email Sally. I'll email Sally. Email the boss. Because it was just a nice event. But Remembrance Day is one of those events. You need the mayor and the Lord Lieutenant and stuff there, and it is a nice event. Yeah. Is there any events that you're not looking forward to? Is there something that's like going to be really difficult for you? Maybe.
No, not that I've come across yet.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, a lot of events are different, and some are sort of more exciting than others. But you've got to respect that organisation, because obviously they want you there for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one, because you can't really say, I can't really turn around and say, "Oh, I don't like going to churches." I'm not a religious person, but I'm going out of respect for.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Them individuals.
That's something I've heard before from mayors in the past. You know, that aren't being particularly religious. Some that are. But it's one of those things that comes hand in hand, really, isn't it? You know.
Yes. You've got to have the respect.
Yeah, of course.
It's the respect for.
And we've all been there. I echo you. My wife is Catholic. She is, and I'm not. So like when Timmy, my son, was having his first Holy Communion, I was there, supportive dad. You know, I went to all the other things. I think it's church in the morning, but I was, I'm very respectful of it. You know, if we go to churches, I'm respectful. You've got to be, I guess. You know, it's all about being responsible and showing my kid that, if I don't quite agree with something or I don't do something, I'm still going to be respectful, and that's what it is ultimately all about. So yeah, you sound like you're really looking forward to this year. I mean, how much have you done so far? I bet you've been like 2 or 3 events a day at times,
Yes, I think it was actually on my birthday last month. I had 3 events in one day.
3 events in one day.
Yeah. And it's like, okay.
Was that a shock? Was that hard to sort of...
No, it wasn't, to be fair. But it's a lot to sort of take in, because sometimes if the organisations are wanting speeches, then you've got to make sure you get yourself prepped for that. And then you've got all your council meetings on top of that as well. And sometimes you can't attend because you're taken up with the mayor's requests for events and things.
Coming on the podcasts and things.
Yeah. I ain't got no meetings today, so you're okay. But yeah, I'm actually really, really enjoying it. And the support that I'm getting for my 2 charities at the minute is unbelievable.
Which charities are they?
Diabetes UK.
Yes.
And Guide Dogs for the Blind.
Nice. Good. I really do appreciate both of them.
Yes, because obviously I've got diabetes myself.
That makes sense.
And I nearly ended up with a guide dog in 2006.
I did read about this. Was that because of the diabetes?
Yes.
Then? Wow. Because
people say that, you're not looking after yourself, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. But in actual fact, 99% of people with diabetes end up with an eye condition at some point. And I'm type 1. It's not uncommon. Yeah. It's very, very, very common.
I've heard of people with diabetes losing their driver license because yeah. So how did they fix the issue? Did they get your sight back, or?
Well, it was my actual surgeon. He's now retired. I wish he hadn't, but he has. He performed some magic miracle injection that I'd never even heard of, and I had to pay for that privately. Because the NHS obviously wouldn't allow it.
The NHS were like, what?
Yeah, what's this? No, we're not paying for that. So that's where I then went private, and I had it done within a week.
Wow.
And then that brought my eyesight back.
Well, I'm very happy for you. Really am, because obviously it could have gone the other way.
Yes.
And again...
And I won't be sitting here.
Well, I mean... A blind mare, or only a hard of sight mare, would be quite a thing, wouldn't it? I suppose. But I'm glad that we're not in that situation today with you. But going back, I'll have a good callback. Going back to sort of stepping in other people's shoes and finding out what life could have been like is why you're doing your thing for your charity, which is very good.
Yes.
Nice.
And it's going to be. I've got so much lined up.
Yeah. Can you talk about it? You got anything?
I can.
You can. Yes. Tell us about it.
Right. So. On the 13th of August, straight after the flower show, I'm doing the Mayor's Marquee, which obviously is going to be promoting Diabetes UK and Guide Dogs. Okay. And tickets are going on sale tomorrow.
Wonderful.
So they will be on the Shrewsbury Town Council website. And if you want any information, contact Alex.
Yes.
I'm sure I can send you the link over.
Yeah, how long is it going to be open for?
It's only until the 27th of July.
Yes, so when this is released, I'll put a link. Just remember that it's only open until the 27th of July, but we'll put a link. But send me something beforehand, and we'll get on. It will have been on our social media as you're listening to this for a good week or so. So
yes,
yeah.
But I'm gonna just get it promoted as and where I can. It's not massively expensive, and we've got Jenny's Catering looking after all the food, and we're going to have like an afternoon tea, so there'll be like little sandwiches and things like that. It'd be absolutely beautiful.
That's really nice. I'd come, but I'm in Turkey.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Well, we were supposed to be at Festival as well. We are going to be at Festival. Well, Verity is. I'm very jealous because next year I said to my wife, look, wherever Festival is, do not book anything off, because they've already said I can go back and have the run of the festival next year, which is fantastic. But she's going to be interviewing like Sophie Ellis-Bextor and Sarah Cox and Sam Ryder and all these things. We're going to send her with some microphones and stuff. So that I'm very jealous, but at the same time, she's going to have a great time. So I'm sorry I can't come to your event.
Oh,
but we can promote it.
You can come to my next one.
Yes, absolutely. So you're doing that one for both the charities then?
That one's for both of the charities, and then on the 5th of October, I'm doing one for guide dogs.
Yes.
And that's going to be at Shrewsbury College.
Okay.
Scat College. I'm doing Dine in the Dark.
Oh, wow.
So you got to eat your dinner blindfolded.
When's that?
5th of October.
I'd love to come and be a part of that.
I'll send you an invitation.
I'd love to. There used to be a restaurant in Chester.
Yes.
Is it called Blind Tiger? Or
yes.
Where you go in, and as you walk in, it's like the dimmest of candlelight as you go in, and you eat in the dark. Amazing place. It was so expensive though. I was like in college, so I could never afford to go. So this has been the closest experience to it. That's just fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm giving people an idea of what it's like to be actually blind.
I love that.
That's going to be quite a big one as well. And also for Diabetes UK, we're actually doing a bike ride Land's End to John O'Groats virtually. There's 3 of us doing it. There's me and my 2 consorts, but we're doing the mileage each. Obviously, I haven't been able to do it for a couple of months because of the injury that I'd sustained, but I'm back on my bike now. So
you've got some catching up to do, girl. You gotta go.
Yeah, I think Emma, my consort, I think she's actually on her way back.
Not really.
We're only supposed to go one way, but I think she's on the way back. But she said, I'll do some miles for you, Beck. I said, no, I'll do it. I'll just do a few K a day. We'll be okay. And yeah, so we've raised over £600 and something for that up to now.
Wow.
And then we're doing something with the Ego. Is it Ego?
Ego?
The pub at the old Grapes pub.
Ego. I'm going to type in Ego Shrewsbury. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think it's the old Grapes, isn't it?
Let's have a look. Ego Shrewsbury. Yes, Ego at the Grapes.
Yes.
Well done.
But one of our friends is taking it over very shortly, and he's going to be doing an afternoon tea again, obviously for guide dogs. For people that obviously can't attend the flower show.
I thought you meant for the dogs.
No. Well, they're not allowed to eat the stuff, so.
Some gourmet dog food.
Well, if somebody wants to bring some along, that's fine.
Who's doing that for you? Is it a local chef, or?
Yes, but I'll have to get you the name.
Oh,
it's called Chris.
Chris. Okay.
But I'm not sure of his surname.
So I knock about a bit, I know a few of these chefs, I thought I might know them, but it's okay.
He works. He's not a friend
Chris
of mine. No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I've had enough of him. I've been speaking to him a lot lately. If he listens back to this, he'll know why. I love you, Chris. I'm only joking. Whenever I see him, he always accosts me, and I love it. But yeah, that sounds great, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I like the dark eating thing. I love that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, that is going to be fun.
Count me in.
And then I've got my mayoral ball on the 27th of April the year after.
Okay. So this is to end your
To
year.
end my year, I'm doing a giant masquerade ball.
Oh, wow.
I've never done one. I've always wanted to do one.
A masquerade ball.
Yeah.
Wow. Where are you going to be doing this?
Shrewsbury Town Football Club.
All right, okay. Maybe we can come along to that as well. I don't know.
Of course.
I'm just inviting myself, but
That's fine. Invite yourself to wherever you want.
oh, I'm always like this. I'm always like, can we come? Can we bring cameras?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can.
I've just never. I'd love to. I think that would look so brilliant in photography. There's some of the masks that people use and stuff. You know.
And I'm going to go big and outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go RuPaul with a giant.
Well, my theme's black and silver.
Okay.
I'm going to go black and silver theme because I'm going to ask if they'll decorate the room for me. So I'm going to go for everything that I can. Black and silver.
It's a nice room, that is. It's the one upstairs.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah.
And I've already managed to I've got one sponsor up to now. And I may have another 2 joining us shortly.
So you're looking for sponsors for that? So is
yes.
it?
Yes. But obviously, there's one that's obviously definite. And then we're just waiting for the other one. Because I'm not seeing them till the 21st of August.
Okay.
Because obviously they're really busy. Obviously, I'm not going to name names up to now.
No.
So I've got to wait. And there's another one as well. But the more we can get, the better.
That sounds really good. Do you follow the football team, the Shrewsbury Town at all?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We're mad for it here. I bought my first ever season ticket. As a family, we've bought season tickets. Because I do a lot of stuff in town. I've kind of really badly ignored the football club, and my wife was like, "Let's go." My wife was like, "We're going to the football." I was like, "Okay." I like my NFL, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember we turned up there, and the atmosphere absolutely just crushed me. It was so amazing, like just the energy from there.
It is. It's amazing. But again, my son as well. He's got a signed football that's on a stand.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I'm going to be asking Shrewsbury Town Football Club. I'll be going down there and saying, "Can you do us all them in a signed shirt, please?"
They'll do it for you, no problem. They're so wonderful. They really are.
I know they're just absolutely amazing because, like I said, up to now, because I'm after raffle prizes as well.
Yeah.
So my team are out. They're going to be out every day, getting something. But I want to go something really good.
Okay. Well, if there's anybody that's got what are you looking for particularly? Because people might listen to this and might want to donate something towards your ball.
Well, anything really.
Any prizes for a raffle?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening to this and you're a Shropshire-based business and you'd like to help donate something to the ball, please get in touch with the show or get in touch with the mayor via the. You can do it through Facebook. I do it through Facebook, and then you got to do the form and stuff. Like
yes.
So.
Or we can, if it's a donation of a raffle prize, then obviously somebody can come and collect it from
like,
you.
Hey, and they'll be like, hey, and then there we go. Exchange of prizes. It'll be great.
Yeah.
We're going to be trying to do some stuff with it with Shrewsbury Town. Actually, I'm going to be meeting with Jamie Edwards from Shrewsbury Town Foundation, the charity that's attached there.
Yeah.
I want to get some stories of people that have supported the club for like 60 years or something, you know, and then speak to some of the long-serving staff members that have worked there for so long. And I had to explain to them, like, I'm not after no scoops. I don't care which charities have been bought. This is what I said to you earlier. I'm not after like political scoops or anything like that. I just want conversations with people that have had a longing love for this club, and that's what I love. I think it'd be amazing, truly amazing to do that. So if you're listening from Shrewsbury Town Football Club, let's do this, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, so
get it out there.
Well, I think you're going to have a magnificent year. I think you're going to have so much fun. I'm kind of jealous. You're going to have more cake than you definitely should. I think Elise said she definitely noticed the difference by the end of her mayoral year.
Yes.
So and what did you speak with Elise at the end? Did she give you any advice, or did you guys share any notes or anything?
No, because I think obviously Elise.
I never know how these handing over chains goes. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys sort of shake hands and be like, yeah, okay, cool, it's yours now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a little bit like that because it's, you know, you're handing over your chains of office to somebody else, and it's like then you sort of like, oh, what do I do now? So that was for me to go from the deputy to the actual mayor. I was just sitting there thinking, oh dear.
It's my turn now.
I'm like, oh, what have I done? But it's sort of like, yeah, it's going to be the same with me with David next year.
Yeah.
When I hand it over the chest, I'm just like, I enjoyed that. I did really enjoy that. So I might, I don't know, maybe in sort of 10 years, so I might do it again. But
Can you do it more than once?
yes,
You can.
you can.
Okay. Maybe we should do have a Shrewsbury Biscuit mayor one year. Maybe just go around with a microphone.
Yeah, do it.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be good.
It'll be the best year we've ever had. We get so many interviews. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in and
No worries.
talking to us today. And I appreciate it's not always easy when somebody's like, yo, I'm just going to fire up these microphones and we're just going to talk. It's never that easy. But I think you've done really well. I think we've had a really nice chat.
Yeah, because
Really nice.
it's, like I said, it's getting to know me and it's getting to know you guys. And then it's like, it's out to the general public on what I'm actually doing, what I'm up to.
Well, so we came across this thing a few years ago. We spoke to Dean Harris, who was the High Sheriff at the time, and I ignorantly didn't know what a High Sheriff was. And when I was at the time I was doing You Suck, which was a podcast I was doing in America with my co-host Tom Bruno. He's in Vermont, and he was like, "What is that?" He was blown away with what these. And of course, we learned about the High Sheriff of Nottingham, and same as the mayor. And what does a mayor in the UK do compared to a mayor in America? Let's offer some human element to these appointments and these names and these things that people do. And that's what today's all about. It's just letting people know that you are a human being with emotions and drives as well, and goals that you want to see achieved, like making the town achievable, like raising some money for a diabetic charity or for guide dogs, and doing something good. And that's ultimately what this is all about.
It is.
So, well, thank you so much for chatting to me. Guys, I'll leave a little bit at the end of this, so don't go anywhere soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a great episode that was. There's definitely a moment in that podcast, just editing it back just now, where I could feel us both kind of relax into it. I always talk about this. There's definitely a moment during every interview that I do where my guest sort of just relaxes a little bit and it kind of almost forgets that the microphone's there. Those are my favourite moments because it just means that we're getting a real conversation and nothing that's forced. There's no notes involved. I think I mentioned during that episode, I was quite proud of myself, actually. I've never really put it that way, but, it has to, the biscuit can't be perfect. It has to be natural conversation, and that's what I thrive towards, and that's what that episode was. So I'm really, really proud of that. And I look forward to seeing our Madam Mayoress throughout the year at particular events that we'll be at. Fantastic. The next episode you're going to hear is going to be on Friday. I just got it's only a short one though. I got a collection of interviews from Shrewsbury Town Football Club. They had an open day. They just opened up the changing rooms. They had all the players out there doing signatures, and I got to speak to. I'm working on some things with the football club at the moment. I want to start telling some stories that come directly from the club. People that have supported the club for 50, 60 years. People that have worked there for 30, 40 years. Supporters, even old football players. I want to tell stories about the romantic nature of having such a well-supported club like Shrewsbury in the town. And that's what yesterday was. It was kind of me sort of introducing myself to a few people. I spoke to a steward that had just moved up from London last year, had a great affinity with the club now because of that. Spoke to Jamie Edwards, who we've spoken to on the Biscuit before, to Mickey Moore, the new director of football. I spoke to him, and also I'm starting to develop a nice relationship with the media team there at Shrewsbury Town as well. So this is just like me introducing myself. Not just to the club, but to the supporters of the club, as someone who's not invasive, who's not provocative, someone who may be there with a microphone but is there to tell a story. These interviews are not designed to get the scoop or to find out who the next transfer is going to be, etc. I'm here to tell the story about between the club and the community and what it means to people. So make sure you check that out on Friday. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace out, folks.